most of the time. As you can see, it'll be the astrologers who tell people that on December 21st, you get superpowers. They didn't know what they were talking about. Now, we missed dates, and was it ever documented in history that it would happen, and what was to take place around that time? The same way, if you're waiting for a specific time period, let's say you got to go get your food, and you know it's time to go get your food by the time your children get back. You ain't even watching the clock, because you know when your children get back, you already got it set for 2:30 that you're going to go and get your food. So they get back from school or wherever they at, they come back, you hear their voices, okay, it's time to go get my food. And that's how they watching the stars. And that's how they watching the planetary motions. And say, okay, well, you watch them. You watch the planets and you watch the stars, and you'll know when I'm coming back, and not just me, okay? You'll know where our presence on the planet Earth, it's time for us to disclose. What did Trump do? Blew the trumpet and said, you have to tell people about the disclosure, needs to come out, tell people about the UFOs, and you have to tell them about the unidentified aerial phenomenon as well. His name was Trump, okay? It's like they can't scream it any louder for you than they've been screaming it, but are you using your ears? Okay? So that was the days of the fifth seal. So we have the sixth seal. The sixth seal was open with the earthquake, all right? The fifth seal was open. You have all these other seals, and we landed on the seventh seal, okay? Where they say what? It was very important. Revelation 8. And what did they say? They said when they opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven for about half an hour. All right? So if there was silence in the heaven for about half an hour, let me let you in on what's going on. Malachi York opened the seventh seal beginning in 1970, okay, through the year 2000, on what they call the long walk on a short path, okay? So from 1970, that was the beginning of the opening of the seventh seal, up until the year 2000. He was called what? The man of the hour. That's what Malachi was literally called, the man of the hour. The minutes were each year that passed, it was another minute. From 1970 up until the year 2000. The prophecy that was laid out, Pops told us, Malachi said what? That you who were born in 1970 were supposed to give birth to angelic beings. What did they say to Abraham? They said what? Your children, we're going to come back through them. We're going to reincarnate, get back into those cars or the bodies that you produce. Am I not telling the truth? Okay, so when he said, all of ye who are of the 1970s, the children coming in through the 1970s, you're going to give birth to the indigo children. You're going to be giving birth to angelic beings. That means a lot of you probably had children around 30 years old, okay? Because I was born in 98. Okay, so you had children around that age, somewhere around that age or in your second, what you call your second decade. And then you had those children. And then those children, like myself, we were supposed to be raised up with all of the information that y'all had figured out from 1970 to the year 2000 so that we could have our genetics activated. And we were supposed to grow up on the tones, and we were supposed to grow up on the information. We were supposed to grow up speaking some of the Kemetic languages and the Arabic languages to activate certain parts of our brain and our body. All right. And then we were supposed to be the powerful ones when you stand out and see that army of the 144,000 ready to take down the beast. So then why do I look out and I see myself? Why do I look out amongst the generations and I see only me? Like, you understand? That means that something took place that wasn't supposed to happen, that we didn't do everything we were supposed to do. It's not over. That just means we have to speed up, because phase one, Omari should not be the only one of who he is. I should be running into so many different versions of me that it should be something that is irreversible at this point, where they should see the army. It should be very clear. But we have to go out again and find those people, and they're out in Babylon. Okay, that's where the dissension came from inside, and we were scattered. All of my brothers and sisters, we were scattered. The ones who were being raised up as the 140, we were scattered out in the public in Babylon, and there was no place for us. There was found no place for us, as if we were the devils, as if we deserved that. You understand? Because, again, of vengeance that people wanted to take on someone who was doing his job. So that's what we said. It took 30 minutes. Now watch this, if you could pay attention. If we say he's the man of the hour, and we said that the 30 minutes was 1970 to 2000, and I'm not saying this is what was literally being said before I was born. And then it's been quiet since the year 2000. There's no new information since the year 2000. There's no new wave of consciousness since the year 2000 when they came for him. All right. And they also put him up for persecution as they said they would do. All right. And then what happened? So now we have people who they're out here, they're playing woke. We don't really know everything we're supposed to be doing. And I'm telling you, I'm screaming, yo, you got to run to Pops. You have to catch up because I was raised on this. That's why I'm able to do bills like this. You understand? I was raised on this type of information. So watch what I'm telling you. If you look into, and we'll break it down, the Agenda 2030. This was something that Malachi York spoke about. Agenda 2030. After the year 2000, where there was supposed to be another play out. All right. And I'll read it for you. I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to read it for you. Okay. Because the end of the world, as you know, it was supposed to be in the year 2030. You understand? The end of the year, the end of the world as you know it. So for the Gregorian calendar, that was the year 2030. Anybody up on the Ethiopian calendar? What is that? This year, 2022. But that's the Ethiopian calendar. All right. The year 2022. All right. They said it was recorded. This was coming through Pop by the ancient ones for thousands of years. All right. By the Hopis, the Yamasee. I don't know if many of y'all heard of the Yamasee Native Americans. All right. The Nuwapians. All right. They all logged these 7 thunders as a sign of the coming of a new planet, new heaven and new earth. But new what? New Biru, Nibiru, Neb Haru. All right. The coming in of a new era as well, which will be the sign of the end of the present world rule. So when people say end of the world, we're not talking about boom, it's all over. That's not what we mean. We're talking about a transfer of power. Revelation 21, where it says we will make all things new. Okay, this is what we're counting on. We really are counting on it. It may not play out this way, okay, but this is what we're counting on. And the resurrection of the ancient mysteries of Egypt, Atlantis was supposed to rise again in where? Which is the heart of Georgia, a place called Wahani. Okay, so Atlantis rose up again. So when you talk of how these things come out, I told you earlier, there's an orbit in your reality. Everything orbits, there are patterns. Atlantis is supposed to rise again. I'm in Atlanta. You understand? Now, of course, there's a lot of gatekeeping going on in Atlanta. There's a lot of people that don't want me to step into the position that I'm supposed to have as Tahuti or the God of Atlanta. But that's who I am. And Atlanta is Atlantis, okay? In the way as far as phonetically of what you're saying, as a land. So it was set to rise up again in frequency. But that's how many hours from Atlanta? Will we say Wahani in Augusta? That's what? That's 2 hours, I remember it to be. Okay? So watch what I'm going to tell you. How many years did they give Malachi York? They gave him 135 years. 1 + 3 + 5 = 9, correct? Okay. How many hours away from Edenton, Georgia, where Tamaray is, all right, is the Atlantis that I'm telling you about? Exactly 135 miles away. Okay? So the star people, all right, will also prophesy to return in this day and time. The ones who you talk about the stars, so you go look it up, they talk about beings who have the resonance or frequency of Orion, Oranos, heaven. All right? And they came back. We have to have a human vessel. Don't think of us as some spirit beings floating around. No, we have to be here. We walk in flesh. We eat, we drink like everybody else. Okay? But we're not human beings as far as we're not just bloodline of Homo sapiens or Homo erectus. It's not who we are. But we incarnate in the flesh beings in the bodies, and you hear it in our tone when we speak. This is something different about this person. Well, we're a reminder. That's all we are. We're operating as a reminder. Do you remember? We want to remind and we come to warn. And also, we have gospel, which is the good news, not gospel, God's news. All right? The gospel. Go look up the etymology of it. Okay? So what was written is there were supposed to be changes that were supposed to occur. The star people were going to return. You're going to be able to see the signs in the skies. They were going to talk about new planets. They were talking about new galaxies, meteorite storms. How many times you turn on the news, or how many times you flip through these articles, they always talk about, oh, there's a new galaxy we found, or there's a reversal of a universe, a whole parallel universe moving in reverse next to ours. Okay? They're starting to realize changes in the cosmos, as you call it. All right? There were going to be climatic alterations. What did Erykah Badu, another student of Malachi York, what did she say in her song On and On? What did she say? Does it seem hotter in your winter and colder in your fall? Okay? I think that's what she said. I hope that's what she said because it's been a while. I don't want to misquote the sister. But she said, so I know she said something about it was hot in winter. I know that for a fact. Okay? Seasons that you're not able to turn or tell apart. Okay? Global warming, as they call it. They talked about spiritual revivals. Now we have the uproar or the explosion of what you call the spiritual community. This is something that Pop spoke about over 30 years ago. Presence of the divine. All right. There's a disregard and a disrespect for present world governments. We don't give a fuck who these governments are. Do anybody care? I don't. I know my generation don't care. We don't care nothing about no presidents. We roast people like Biden and Kamala. We be roasting them. We'll get on your ass. We ain't scared of the quote unquote white man, and we ain't scared of these presidents. We don't care who it is. Obama, nobody. We don't care who these people are. These are human beings. And for all we know, they're agents. We don't give a fuck about none of these people. So the disregard and disrespect for the world governments is already here. We don't care about leadership. We don't care about politics, police, nobody. It's my generation and the ones who came before us, right before us, who were saying, fuck the police. We ain't scared of them. You understand? And then what was supposed to take place? Something called the seventh thunder. Now, if you're reading the book of Revelation, you can't know what the seventh thunder is. And I'll break that down for you further. But you can't know that if you're just reading the book of Revelation. Now, let me tell you something. Somebody said something in the room last shadow. I don't think I got to be able to touch on it, but it was in one of these rooms. And they were saying that nobody could know, you know what I'm saying, certain things. There were certain things you just can't know. And, you know what I'm saying, that after these people, there was nobody who could tell. And the thing I wanted to speak on, I never got the chance. I said, yo, well, what if an angel came down to them? The same way you say angels came down to Abraham, or angels came down to Prophet Rasulullah Muhammad, all right? The same way these people came in contact with your Moseses and the rest of these people on the mountain, all right? Or the Netzarat, or the Elohim. Then, okay, why is it not possible that today there can be another person giving another revelation? You underestimate that ability? No, that was the last prophet per your information. That's all you knew about, the seal of the prophets. But you don't know who else can receive a message or a revelation. To not even have to be called a prophet, but they can bring a message, all right? And that means that that means that there was another installment of information that came through. And that's what happened with Malachi York, and it confused them. Because after the Quran, there was supposed to be no other holy books. When we say holy, we're talking about books that come from Hilo or Halo, above, all right? Which are the Shams, which are the plasma vehicles. They call it chariots of fire, or they call it solar Atens. Okay, boats of 1,000,000 years, or the boat of 1,000,000 years. They used to fly around in Egypt. They said that's a boat because that's all they knew about some of those inhabitants. They only knew about their vehicles. So the Aten, or the disc itself, the shape of it, that's not something that they were able to categorize and say, well, this is a flying saucer, as you call it now. But they call it arks or boats the same way Doggone tribe call it arks and boats. You understand that? So there were beings who came down and gave information, like in the Quran, where they call it the Isra, the night journey. Okay, the night journey, which was, I think it was chapter 17 of the Quran, Al-Isra, all right, where the Prophet Muhammad was taken up in what you call a Burak, and it was a glowing vehicle, okay, and he was showing things out in what you call the night sky, or the midnight sky. And this, again, is an extraterrestrial encounter. So, again, if you were reading Revelation and you went through the scriptures and you found where it said there was a seven thunders that was mentioned, what did they say? They said, write these things not. Don't tell people what we about to show you. And look, everything that the seven thunders uttered, don't tell people about it. Don't let people know exactly what was being said there. So unless you were John or in the presence of those angels, you wouldn't know what the seven thunders are, would you? And you couldn't guess and just make it up. Because why? That goes against your law. Because in the book of Revelation, as it ends with 19 before your commentary, Revelation 22, 18 and 19, what does it say? You can't take anything out of this book. You can't add anything into this book. So when you have someone stepping out, all right, who walked through all of the schools like no other, who is Malachi York, and he let people know what the seven thunders are actually saying, this scared them, because how could he know this? The only way he could know this is, for one, if he made it up, which they didn't believe that. They didn't think anything he said was made up, or they wouldn't have to tell him that while they were trying to give him a plea deal. What did they tell him? They say, yo, you have to go out and tell people that everything you were teaching was a lie, and then we'll think about letting you out. Go and tell people that everything that you taught people was a lie, and we'll let you off, or we'll work with you. Tell people, and he didn't do that, of course. But why would they add that in there? Because, again, everything he told you was true, not the lie. Now, if you're interested in just somebody's case or allegations, the fuck are you bringing up their teachers for? Go tell everybody you lied. No, he told the truth, and they didn't understand how that was possible, how he was writing books about the science of creation that they hadn't even figured out and told people about yet. There were no public articles or any other things that he was talking about. The types of encounters and predictions he was making, they didn't have those predictions or encounters themselves. Okay? So then he broke down the seven thunders that John was told not to write about. And it spoke about everything that has happened up to this point and it was supposed to transpire by the year 2030, the end of the world as you know it. Okay, now that's supposed to all play out by what year? 2030, the second half of the hour. Okay, that's 30 years after 2000. So that silence in the heavens is going on right now is what I'm telling y'all. It's silent out here, I'm telling y'all. Because when Pops was outside, every day was loud. I grew up on this. So every day was loud. Every day there was something new. Every day was another explosion, another DNA activation. Something was happening every day that Pops was out. Okay, even for my short time on the land, there was something new every day exploding, and we were going through this and going through that, and we was about to learn this and learn that, learn this language, pick this book up. And then he leaves, and everybody that I hear, every conscious person that I hear, they're only repeating Pops. And then I bring him up, and a lot of them like to disregard him. And I try to show him, like, yo, I can really put you on because you're teaching that half-ass. Like, he didn't say it like that. You know what I'm saying? There was a reason why he said that. Well, we know, we our own people. What is the purpose of what you're saying? You have no reason to say this word. Like, what was the reason of this word? And then you'll be able to know what the whole school of that is. You understand? But they're missing it. All right? So the world we're talking about is a Hebrew word olam. Okay? You say the word olam, which means an eon or extended period of time. So we're not talking about the earth. The world we're talking about is when it ends. All right? Same thing they wrote for you in Revelation. All right? By way of a law that was laid out in the earthly realm. As I told you, every 25,000 years is another renewal of the way of life that you have here to ensure that there was some sort of evolution over time, okay? And that especially mankind's animalistic part of themselves, like I tell you, the reptilian brain or the evil side, if you want to call it that, or lesser being side of themselves or their nature, it wouldn't overtake them. And it's already started to do that, though. So the creation of human beings after the formation of this ant form of a realm, which we call Tiamat or Ki or Gaia, which you have a whole nother commercial that they keep showing you of the Gaia channel where they breaking down all these sciences that Pops told you about over 30 years ago, 40 years ago. And now they breaking it down. And nobody's calling these people crazy, but they call him crazy, where we could have been on point. We could have been ahead of the game. Or Geo, the blue planet, or Earth, which when they were using the word for Earth in Hebrew, Eretz, it was speaking about a land or a foundation. Okay, so the human beings were being overseen by who you call the Anunnaki or the extraterrestrials, different genetically or elementally diverse beings, the same ones that you talk about at Nume Elish, all right? And they were coming down onto the earth. That's what you're talking about when you're speaking about Yakub, the story of Yakub, different diverse genetics of beings. What people ended up doing was speaking about a whole bunch of stories and recordings in one, but the Dunaki was an actual race of people that had Yakub, when one of the Dunakil tribe members went and mixed in their seed with another one of the Taros. And they were told not to do that. And he was the son of them, who you call Yakub. He was the son of them. He didn't go in no laboratory and make nobody. They were already Caucasian people or melanin recessive. Let's say it like that because it wouldn't be Caucasian. They were inner Earth. They were already melanin recessive people on the planet Earth or in the planet Earth called the Taros. All right, are we clear on that? They made a movie about it called Coneheads. So stop telling people Yakub created the white race. You know what I'm saying? You have an incomplete story. Go research The Big-Headed Scientist by Dr. York. Maybe you'll find a little more information on it. But human beings have to understand, especially the melanin dominant ones, they're not the only ones in the universe that have their genetic makeup. There are other melanin dominant beings, there are other Asiatics, there are other Caucasians or melanin recessive beings, as you call them, and they exist all around the universes. You understand? So the white people, as you call them, they're not some germ of the planet Earth. They exist, and not all of them are destructive beings, as I taught you before. Some of them are waiting and willing to help and aid just alongside your melanin dominant brothers and sisters who exist extra planetary, okay, or interplanetary. And they want to help bring order back because it's a resource. They don't want the planet Earth to be destroyed. Some of them are not dumb. It's to the point of creating weapons or yielding or wielding weapons that will destroy the planet Earth. Okay, which they know that these things can do that, but they still have them in place just in case. And trust me, if they find out that they have their hands tied and there's an invasion, because they're going to be talking about an invasion, all right, which they're going to want to make you think that that invasion is something that is negative. And another thing is they're going to call it a false flag. People are going to be breaking it down. Don't worry about this. It's all PSYOP. It's Project Blue. They don't know what they're talking about. Project Blue Book, all these projects were created to create diversions. So if I can point out stuff and say, look, there's holograms, or look, there's reverse technology, it'll still remove you from the conversation and make you think that it's just human beings. You see how smart they are? That's why they say they deceive the whole world. So you got all these people talking about, oh, it's going to be a fake alien. I tell you, you can't fake an alien invasion. Either they going to invade or they don't invade. I don't care who made them and where they came from. If there's an invasion, there's an invasion. You understand? If they blowing shit up, that ain't fake. Your ass better take cover. Don't be pointing outside talking about some of these holograms and be waiting for the blast. I'm saying it again. They're going to, if it comes down to it, where God comes to the planet Earth, as you call it, that's how your story plays out. They're going to go to war with them. I asked one of these people on Clubhouse who claimed to be a part of the Majestic 12, MJ12. Everybody was asking these simple ass questions. I asked him a direct question. I said, yo, let me ask you a question. Have you been in contact with extraterrestrials? He said, yes. I said, okay, let me ask you a question. I said, which extraterrestrial by name can you call that you have some sort of non-terrestrial origin or relationship with? Which I say, again, of non-terrestrial origin that you have a relationship with. And he didn't know how to answer it. He couldn't answer it, or he wouldn't answer it. And I said, well, that's interesting, because you were the one who was telling people that they had to come to you to get questions answered on space. Leave all the space stuff to you, but you can't answer, again, a specific name. I said, I can give you a name. You know what I'm saying? I can give you a name that I didn't even have a personal relationship with, Krill. And I said, he said, you said Krill? I said, yeah. And he went quiet. I'm like, well, you know what I'm saying? But they know who Krill is because they captured Krill and they tricked Krill. All right? They tricked him and they forced him to give information over on technology. He was one of the benevolent ones who was willing to do work with human beings and didn't know what he was getting into. All right? Of the Romardian race. And they tricked him and they captured him at the Holloman Air Base. You don't have to take my word for it, though. I know it might sound crazy. Okay? But they have Krill captive on the planet Earth. And he's not the only prisoner of Earth. Okay? They have other people in prison on Earth that are not human beings. Hope you picking up on what I'm putting down. All right? So let's go through the 7 thunders as written out by Pops word for word. First thunders. Much starvation, sickness, starving children, homelessness, and diseases. This already passed and continues. Second thunders. The sky becomes sick with holes in it that look like sores. Lung disease spreads. Breathing problems occur. Green mist coming from holes. Polluting water. Growing deformities. Bacteria in the water, which are called little devils. All right? Sea animals begin to die. Fishes are trying to get out of the water. Y'all have seen all of this. Okay? Water becomes death to them. Physical and spiritual illness, mutations in animals. All right? The third thunder. Many new species, notations in animals. Crossbreeding in species. Death of frogs, honeybees, turtles. Deformed humans multiply. Okay? Genetic splicing and cloning. Have we seen that? Because he said it was coming. Fourth thunder, sign of twins, Yah and Wei. One guards the South Pole and the other guards the North Pole. Havoc begins with these poles. Structures break down, religion, moral, and financial. The devil wins, WINDS, by the way. El Nino takes over. We're talking about nuclear weapons. Are you able to see the devil wins? The nuclear powers of the world. Who you see right now, what do they call? Think about it. I told you the devil wins are the nuclear weapons. What does Russia call their most powerful weapon? All right, the SS-18 Shaitan. I'm telling you, just all you have to do is pay attention, and it'll be clear. You don't have to, delve into all the conjecture that people are just pay attention. Fifth thunder. 4 great people will perish. I was dealing with that the other day. I said, okay, I've seen certain people that we have Michael Jackson. That's a great person for sure. Who else? We have Prince. That's a great person for sure. All right, and I have to do some more thinking on who else the great people would be, because some people just have favorite celebrities. But Michael and Prince were great people for sure. All right, and I have to do, again, my own meditation on who else was it, Pops, that you was talking about. Children killing their parents, what did it say? Floods, lightning, storms, tornadoes, landslides, hurricanes, hail in the summer, forest fires. All of this is going on. Children killing children. Children killing their parents. You see that on the news almost every day. Rampant insanity and murders. I hope you're listening. Rampant insanity. Well, damn, it's another one, and another one. Damn, like, it's been back to back. Motherfuckers is just going rampant on rampages, killing motherfuckers. It's written right here, 30 years ago. An upsurge in drug addiction and demonic revivals parading themselves as righteous. Hey, what's a nature boy? You understand? Oops. El Nina, little girl will come. Okay? Now, I'm not sure exactly what little girl will come means. Okay? I can't even lie to you. I have to do more meditation on that. We'll talk to the elder and see what he said. Sixth thunder, changes occur. The star people return. Signs in the skies. New planets, new galaxies, meteorite storms, climatic alterations, global warming, spiritual revivals, presence of the divine, disregard and respect for present world governments, leaderships, politics. Seventh thunder will be the end of the world as you know it, the year 2030. Okay, so again, I just took that time to break down for you what Pops was talking about with the seventh seal and also the seven thunders that they didn't think anybody was even going to be able to figure out because there was no way unless they were told to you by extraterrestrial beings or you were there when it was being told to John. You understand? Now that's a problem because why? You don't think it's possible, but they know it is. You don't think that him being born in 1945, 1945, 4 plus 5 is 9, on June 26th, the same date that they put the rainbow up on the White House of 2015. If you remember, they did it on Malachi York's birthday. I told you these people are playing a very meticulous game, very detailed. You have to pay attention to everything. The rainbow, the hidden dangers of the rainbow was a book that he put in the book, Leviathan 666. The hidden dangers of the rainbow was talking about the second rule and power that was going to uprise at a certain point in time. And look at the colors that they coming up under the rainbow. They want you to think that it's dealing with LGBT. No, there's a book called Hidden Dangers of the Rainbow that came out in the 80s. Go get that book. You understand? They're not talking about what you think they're talking about, but in the realm of polarity, both can apply. You get it? So why would they do it on June 26th? Why pick that date? Because it is Malachi York's birthday. You understand? It's a war call. And again, everything they do it in such a way that they'll explain it to you. There's a question that's being asked, like I broke down to you in the book. How? Can you? It's an Arabic word, H-A-L. Can you? I tell you, step down, IBM. H-A-L is IBM. When you talk about the letter after H, H-I. What's the letter after A? A-B. What's the letter after L? L-M. I-B-M. H-A-L. So you had a movie called 2000 Odyssey, the year 2000 Odyssey, right? Where there was a robot called Hal. H-A-L. Sound familiar? Hal, Halal. Okay? And he was a red, he had a red light that was about him. And then you have the iRobot when the artificial intelligent beings who are the demons, interdimensional demons as you call them, that are traveling through this realm and incarnated into flesh beings called robots. All right? Where iRobot, they become aware. They told you about Siri and iRobot. They call her Vicky. Okay? V-I-K-I, which is S-I-R-I. Siri. Okay? So then you have the robot becomes self-aware and they have a revolution up against mankind. And then what do you see there? Their chest turn into the color what? The color red also. Are you paying attention when I'm breaking down to you? Okay, so you have the word how again means can you? And then what is the answer that Obama came out and said? He said, yes, we can. All right? So Shaitan, under Obama's nation, the abomination, all right, came out and said, yes, we can. And remember, they said, if you reverse that, it said, thank you, Satan. Thank you, Satan. Opposition. Yes, we can. Hal. Hey, loud. Yes, we can. All right. IBM 3666. The Bill Gates patent for the body activity data tracker, where bit currency or biocurrency or cryptocurrency, all of these things are meaning the same thing. Bit, bio, crypto is all dealing with computer numbers and how they're merging and integrating it with human beings. Okay. The body activity data, BAD, bad. They telling you what the fuck it is. This is very bad. What is that a patent for? It's a patent for some shit that's bad, body activity data. All right? What is it supposed to track? It's supposed to track literally how you will buy and sell based off of the way that you are holding your phone, certain movements that you make. It works like the Fitbits system. Notice that they call it the Fitbits. Bits as in binary code. That tracks your movement. And Elon Musk said what? He said that he was going to create or introduce, the same one who said he was against this, he was the one who came out and said with Neuralink, his company, that he was going to introduce a Fitbit for your brain. Again, quantum computing, merging or integrating mankind with technology. Okay? So it's the sign of the coming forth of the beast on the land. They had a movie called Suicide Squad. If you remember that movie, the new one, the Suicide Squad 2, where the beast was a 5-pointed star. Y'all ain't hearing me. The beast was a 5-pointed star. 5-pointed. What's a 5-pointed star? It's called the pentagram. The one that's flipped upside down, at least. The pentagram. Okay? And that pentagram is 5 penta G. Gram. 5th generation. All right? Which people say 5th generation, oh, they're just talking about technology. Of course it would be, because you don't know any better. They're telling you about the generation of that 5th being. The generation of the pentagram. He is supposed to walk the land. I had it in the song. I said we had time. But again, I'm not famous, so the messages ain't getting out fast enough, obviously. But I said we had time. We had time. I came out with that song some years back. All right? I said Los Angeles fucked around and went worldwide. Babylon fell straight to hell, then the world cried. This ain't no pandemic. It's the rapture. Who heard God? Guess they only dodged the bullet after it hurled by. I said, everybody cover their mouth. Try not to breathe it in. Trump wasn't even wearing no mask. Government demons been deceiving the masses. Been deceiving the masses. For those believing in classes, I hope this taught you a lesson. Republican people passing before they office election. I said, this ain't just about no 5G. No. Nigga think reciting the internet implies he woke. But he don't know how deep that 5G go. 5th generation, the devil's waiting in place. He finna trot these roles. And then they come out with a movie, Suicide Squad, right? And they show you this big-ass 5-pointed star that is waiting, and they call it what? Who watched the movie? Somebody tell me what they called the 5-pointed star. Somebody tell me. Let me Google this shit, make sure I'm really cooking, because I don't want to use the wrong spatula or nothing. It's called We Had Time. DM me your email, boss man, I'll send it to you. And make sure I got the right name for this shit. The Beast Suicide Squad. Didn't they call that motherfucker the Beast? Or am I tripping? What did they call that 5-pointed star, man? If they didn't call it the Beast, then okay, the spatula wasn't that hot. Let me see what they called the 5-pointed star. The 5-pointed star. Because the thing was, he was waiting to trot the roads. And he did. Now, I don't know what the fuck they call this shit. I can't find it. But what is the star? A super intelligent. It's a super intelligent alien life form that looks like a starfish. All right. Polka dot man. I don't know what they're talking about. Okay, cool. So then we got it. So I don't know. They probably didn't call it the Beast. Is what I thought. I probably was just thinking that when I saw it. I said, it's the fucking Beast. Okay, that's probably why that memory went there. All right. Because again, I said in the song that the beast was waiting to trot the roads, and then they came out with a movie where there was a beast waiting to trot the roads. What was that beast able to do? If you saw the movie. If not, spoiler. The beast was able to send out multiple copies of itself to latch on to the crown, the head of the people, Corona. All right? And completely shift their will to do whatever that beast wanted them to do, if you remember. All right? So this is what I'm explaining to you, that the beast is trotting the roads now. You know what I'm saying? They completely changed the world with COVID. Coronavirus, all right? CV-19 is the Quran speaking to you about how at one point in time there was going to be a beast that came out that was going to justify and validate all of the signs, or confirm, all of the signs that the Quran and the Bible was telling y'all about. That's the beast. Revelation is talking about it. The Quran is talking about it. C19, and that's the computer. So what did the computer wind up evolving into? And how fast did it evolve? Look at how fast they were able to change these things. And now you're dealing with whole artificial conscious beings. And they had them long ago, by the way. I don't know if they're not telling y'all artificial conscious yet. I'm sorry. They're saying artificial intelligence. But they're going to be saying it. I'm telling you now. They're going to be saying artificial conscious, ACs. Now, that comes from the knowledge that came from the technical advances of the computer, which was a portal that allowed for them to tap into the quantum realm and answer questions that Einstein had about the universe. Am I clear? So when they said, again, that this was going to rise up a beast, they're talking about technology's computer. And it had a job to do. So again, let's do a quick reset. This silence in the heavens, all right, what's going on right now and how it all ties into the 7 seals, all right, or the 7 scrolls, or the 7th one that was open especially. If you want my books, because one of the books I'm talking from or talking about is the book called Is the Computer Guide. I keep mentioning that book. So that book, if you want that book particularly, or if you, well, let's do that right now. If you want that book, because this is the conversation at hand, you can send a donation of any kind. Now, if you want all 6 of the books and not just that book, because some of y'all might have most of them or all of them already. If you want all 6 of the books, then just put the number. Be like, yo, you send your email with the donation and you put 6. All right. Or if you just want the Is the Computer Guide book just to deal with that book, then you send a donation, put your email where it says 4, and you send your email and I'll send you that book. Okay. And that's how we rock out with it. So again, everybody that's here, tap in above. There's a donation thing that you can send a donation, put your email, and I'll bless you with the books, or I'll bless you with the Is the Computer Guide book. Let's move on. So we're talking about, again, there's a correlation between what we call the book of Revelation and the book of the Quran, the revelation that was given unto Muhammad. That's not religious in nature. It's very scientific in nature. And I'm not making these things up. Remember I told you we're going to break down more about the sacred numbers and how this all ties in. 360 teaching. Okay? Revelation 10:2. All right? 10 verse 2, what it said, and he had in his hand a little book open, and he set his right foot upon the sea and his left foot upon the earth. What little book are we talking about? Stay tuned. Revelation 10:4, where it said what? Sealed up, all right, those things which the 7 thunders utter, and write them not. I put in bold, seal up, and I put in bold 7 thunders, and I put in bold, write them not. Okay? It is very important. So the Quran chapter 2 verse 41 says what? Believe in my revelations, which confirm your scriptures. Do not be the first to deny them or trade them for a fleeting gain, and be mindful of me. This is not a religious book. This is a scientific book. They said, yo, when we did this, anytime you read the Quran, I don't know if you have, but if you ever open the Quran, you'll notice that it's very repetitive. For one, they say a lot of different things the same way a whole lot of different times, but what they're really saying is from a plural standpoint. It's a plural perspective. They're not saying, and I did this, and I did that. They say, yo, remember when we said this, and remember when we did this, and remember when they keep saying we, which goes forward to confirm that this is not just one extraterrestrial encounter documented throughout history. There were multiple beings, multiple encounters, multiple times, dealing with multiple occasions where people were seeing these people, and there were multiple ones of them, which will show you again Elohim. All right, or Layat, all right, not versus just saying singular, plural beings. Hope you're following me or walking with me. All right. So when he's saying, it would be another translation, believe in what I have sent down, confirming that which is already with you, and don't be the first to disbelieve in it. Do not exchange my signs, okay, for a small price, and fear only me. What is this fleeting gain? What is this small price, and what are the signs? Well, let me tell you something. When you're dealing with signs, when you're talking about it, you're speaking in terms of mathematics, prediction scientifically. So when they predicted this is going to happen at this point in time, this point in time, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, and it happened, you were supposed to pay attention to those signs so you would know when this day and time came. So when people say the signs of the times, we're talking about these are the predictions playing out in front of you. What else do you need to see? Even if you want to call it predictive programming, it's still happening. So are you going to have something to do with this, or are you just going to keep watching their programming that you claiming they predicted, all right, and made it happen because they predicted it, all right? Are you going to continue to just watch it play out? And that's what the grand question is of what is mankind going to do, all right? Revelation 5:1, keep walking with me. I wept and wept because no one was found who was worthy to open the scroll or look inside. Then one of the elders said to me, do not weep. See, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, has triumphed. Who is the root of David? Dawood. Beloved. Remember I told you beloved is what Dawood means. And if you look at beloved reverse, I told you it means develop, okay? Bringing you back to the strong numbers of 360, 720, 144, which is what? Development. 360 degrees, 720 degrees, 1440 degrees, 180 degrees, down to 90, 45, and 0. Which is still 360. You got to stay with me. It said, he is able to open the scroll and its 7 seals. So don't cry. What are you crying for? We got somebody. So when the world was saying, yo, what are we supposed to do? They done killed all our leaders. All right. They keep shutting us down. We're fighting. We at war with these people. What are we supposed to do? who came through and stepped through the portal, literally, in 1945, Malachi York. And then through another in 1960, and through another in 1970, Malachi York. Malachi means my angel, all right? My angel. Angel meaning what? Angelos meaning what? Messenger. So he is a messenger and a teacher. And he wasn't the only one. It's just that it's important for you to know who he is right now so you can pay attention to what's going on around you right now, because he told you these things were coming and what to do. 7. But in the days of the voice of the 7th angel, when he shall begin to sound, the mystery. Okay, so let me tell you what I'm emboldening. I said in the days of the voice of the 7th angel, I emboldened that. When he shall begin to sound, the mystery, I emboldened that, of God should be finished. And he have declared to his servants, the prophets, or as he, have declared to his servants, his prophets. That's Revelation 5:7. Okay, now watch why I emboldened these things. First of all, if I ask somebody, has the mystery of God already been complete? The answer is no. We have not completed the mystery of the Most High or the mystery of God yet. We're working on that right now, though. And it's becoming clearer and clearer every day. How many of y'all are hearing more and more people talk about how God is an extraterrestrial? How many people are hearing that more and more every day? I am. It's amazing to watch. How many people are seeing more rooms about it on Clubhouse, about God being angels? Extraterrestrial, angels being extraterrestrials. How many videos you've seen on Instagram now where they're talking about the Anunnaki or the guys were extraterrestrials? Okay, so the mystery of God ain't complete yet, but it's becoming more and more clear every day that, yes, we have always been talking about extraterrestrials. That's the mystery, my story, not his story of what they want you to believe, okay? The mystery is these are real people, not spirits. All right, some of them still alive to this day. Revelation 10:11, and he said unto me, thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. Has that happened yet? All right, who came out? Where's John at? Is he back? Was Malachi John? Hope you're listening. Who was there to witness this, to be able to come out again and prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings? Y'all ain't hearing me. They knew what Pops was doing, and they knew who he was. Speaking on the Quran, all right? So Revelation 14:3, and they sung, as it were, a new song before the throne and before the 4 beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but what they call who? The 144,000, which were redeemed from the earth. Have that happened? Has that happened yet? No, we haven't gotten our children in order yet. We haven't gotten ourselves in order yet. We haven't seen a redemption from the earth happen yet. So right now, there is a process taking place. I will tell you that. You don't have to believe me, that's fine. But there is a process taking place, an evacuation process, where they are taking a very select few away, which means that we may not be looking at the redemption of a grand 144,000. There may be the thief in the night playing out now, because all of these things were possibilities. They'll come in the thief in the night, or for all the world to see, or different ways that it can happen. A redemption of 144,000. All of these things were like predictions, numerological lines or paths that say that if this happens, then this. If then equations, if you're familiar with those, okay, which is like rule based. So this is how they had set up. So I'm witnessing and experiencing it where they are rounding up very few people. It's something that's been brought to my attention that some people are being taken away while they're resting. Okay, some people are literally disappearing from the planet Earth, no trace. So that is happening. Again, you don't have to believe me. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm only here to let you see the possibility of what I'm talking about. But that showed me again that this might not be a mass salvation. So the 144,000 may not happen in that regard. It may be 9 people at that regard. But again, this is all chances. We don't know exactly which one yet. I don't know, exactly which one yet. These are they which were not yet defiled with who they call the women or the harlot, as I told you. All right. For they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. Now, who is the Lamb? Now, of course, it'd be easy to say Jesus Christ, of course, but have you been paying attention? Who was the Lamb? Imam Isa. Okay? You have to pay attention. Imam Isa, go type it in. Not E. Is it that late? I-M-A-M. I-S-A, Imam Isa, okay? Okay, there you go. As soon as you pull it up, Nubian king of pedophilia. These motherfuckers here, bro. Go to the images, please. These damn devils. The first thing they want to do, like, come on, man. These are devils. Like, they don't do that to nobody else. Like, they only do that to him. You go to the poster where you see him holding this shepherd's pole or scepter. But if you pay close attention, you will see that there's a vehicle behind him, one of the shams, a ship, all right? Which was showing you very clearly that Malachi York was not some religious person coming through, oh, I'm all religious. No, he was very aware of what was going on. He was trying to break it down to you from your books. But he's very aware of what was going on. And he was always speaking about extraterrestrials. Even when he was doing the bills, he was like, yo, the Sunnis don't know what they're talking about. They're talking about some God in heaven. He said, these are extraterrestrials. So if anybody who try to just religion man him, you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. It's in his photos, all right? It's right there. So Imam Isa was called the Lamb, all right? He had a book called The Lamb, you know what I'm saying? All right? So this, again, was a prophecy fulfilled. So I hope people are listening. The Lamb, follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. You can say Jesus, that's fine. You can say Malachi York, that's fine. Whichever you're saying, where did they go? You know what I'm saying? How do you follow Jesus where he went? Where did he go? What do you mean when you say that? We're talking about the teachings. Okay? So if you follow the teachings of Christ, or you follow the teachings of Malachi,